Hello everyone. In today's video lesson, we learn the subject C programming, which is prescribed for first year BSc Computer Science students. So in previous video lessons, we have seen the introduction and how it is involved and the different features and basic structure of C programming. So in today's video lesson, I want to tell about the statements and tokens available in C language. So while learning any language, for Telugu we have learnt Varnamala, Vyakaranam, English alphabets and grammar, which tells how to write the statements. In the same way, now we are going to learn C programming. So here, the basic thing is, the C programming is written with English instructions and mathematical notations. That is what our high-level language is. So we know the basic things. That means we have learnt about the alphabets. So the next thing, how to form a statement. And individual things like parts of speech we learn in English. Here we have to know the individual word which we are going to use in our language. So they are nothing but the tokens. So in this video lesson, we'll see what type of statements we have in C language and what are the tokens. Tokens are nothing but the individual words available in C language. So first part is the statements. So a statement is nothing but an instruction which is executable, because we write the statement so that it has to execute. So the statements here are divided into many. So the first statement I want to tell you here, it's a declaration statement. It's a declaration statement. For example, I'll write here, I want to declare a variable integer A, comma B, comma C. So this is the declaration statement in C programming. So what does it tell? It tells that there are three variables, A, B, C are three variables of type integer, and I am going to use these variables into my program. So the declaration statement indicates these are the things I am going to use in my program. So this is the declaration of variables. This is an example for declaration of variables. So let's see. It communicates with language translator. Language translator means compiler. Information about name, data type while execution of the program. It tells to the compiler what are the things you have in your program. So this statement is used to communicate the information to the translator. Translator can be a compiler or interpreter. Our C program uses only the compiler. So it gives an information about name and data type while execution of the program. Next, an expression statement. Expression, as the name indicates, it is an expression, arithmetic expression, logical expression, relational expression. So we may have any kind of expression which results something. So it contains operands and operators We know operands are nothing but the variables or the numbers. And the operators, we know the operators, arithmetic operators, plus, minus, multiplication, division. It defines certain computation and generates the result. I have told you, no, expression statements will result some information. It gives some information. So I have taken an example, a plus b equals to 3. So it is an arithmetic expression, right? Next statement. Compound statement. Compound statement. The meaning is it can be defined as a set of statements, sequential order, grouped together to form a single large statement. So a compound statement is nothing but grouping a set of instructions into one place. Like main function. We have spoke about main function. In that we used to write the set of instructions into enclosed in a curly braces. So those total statements, those set of statements are enclosed in a curly braces. That is called a single large statement. Next is a labeled statement. It is used to select any statement in n number of statements, and mark it so that control can be transferred to that statement using switch. Listen here, ma. Here in C program or any of the programming language, we used to write set of instructions so that we can perform a task. So while performing a task, out of n statements, we can select a set of instructions and they can be switched to some other statement which can be labeled. That means those group of statements can be given with a name. Name is nothing but a label. So it can be switched from the normal control of execution to some other place, which I am calling it as labeled statement. The set of statements are labeled, right? So next statements are control statements. As the name indicates, it is controlling the execution. So why it needs to be controlled? Why it needs to be controlled? Because every program, every C program starts its execution from first line to the nth line. That first line will be from main. So our program starts executing from main, then next line, which are nothing but the instructions. So if you want to alter any set of instructions, after those instructions, we use control statements. As the name indicates, the meaning is that it controls the flow of execution. It does not go from 1 to n. If you want to miss any set of instructions, that can be missed by making use of any condition. So to control the flow of execution from the given set of instructions, we have control statements. So there are three types of control statements available in C language. They are selection statements, iteration statements, and jump statements. Selection statements are nothing but they perform based on the condition. I'll just write down an example. If A is greater than B, so it prints A is large. So it is selecting the set of instructions The flow after this sentence, before this, if you have A is given as 8 and B is given as 9. So it checks the condition whether 8 is greater than 9. It is not. So the condition fails here. The condition fails here. So it does not go to execute this sentence. It skips these 2 lines of code and goes on with the next line of instruction. So for this reason, we have different kinds of selection statements. That is nothing but if else, switch, nested if, like that. In the same way, for iteration, so as the name indicates, if you want to repeat anything, like I want to print a statement. Suppose if I want to print as hello. So it will print only for one time. But if I want to print the same thing for 100 times, so what it requires to do, you have to write the same sentence 100 times. If it is 1000, you have to write the same thing up to 1000 times. So to avoid this, we have the statements called iterative statements. The other name, we also call it as looping statements. It loops according to the condition. So the condition will be like this. While I greater than r equals to 100, printf hello. So it will perform this hello. That means printing of this hello from 1 to 100. Until the I value becomes 100, the same statement will be executed again and again. So this is called an iteration statements. So for this, we have 3 types of iterative statements: while, do while, for loops. Okay, these are the 3 things we have for iterative statements. Next, we have jumping statements. So it jumps from one set of statements to one place to another place, like labeled statements, what we have learned. According to the label, jump there. Like if you have I equals to 9, so you will go to X. So go to is a jump statement. When do you go to the X statements? You can go to the X statements whenever your I value becomes 9. So these are used for jumping from one place to another place. So here we have 3 types of jumping statements. One is break, another one is go to using label. It can be forward jump or backward jump, and another one is continue. So using these 3, you can move from one place to another place in your set of instructions. Right? Hope you have understood the same statements: declarative statements, expression statements, compound statements, labeled statements, and control statements. So like this, we can write the statements in our C language. In any of this way, you can write your C program instructions. So this is okay. So next, what we need to learn? What we need to learn? We have to learn what are the things available in C language. So for that, we have to move further to learn about tokens. So this word we have learned in compiler design also. In lexical analyzer, the first phase of compiler divides the statement into tokens and individual words which cannot be divided more. So this is done by lexical analyzer in compiler. So what are the tokens? What are the tokens? Simply I can say these are nothing but our parts of speech. Parts of speech in English language. Noun, pronoun, verb. So we can divide a statement as noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, and so on. Same way, our statement, C statement also can be divided into different tokens. So let's see. C tokens are the basic building blocks in C language. Tokens are the basic building blocks of C language, because without these words, we cannot build a C language, which are constructed together to write a C program. So our program can be implemented by making use of tokens. So each and every smallest individual unit, a smallest individual unit in a C program are known as C tokens. A smallest unit which cannot be divided more. Suppose if I write an example here. C is equal to A plus B. So I can divide C equal to A plus and B. Whereas C is an operand, equal to is an assignment operator, A is again an operand, I can call it as a variable, whereas plus is an operator, addition operator, arithmetic operator otherwise, B is again a variable. So I have divided each and every word, each and every letter, which cannot be divided more. C cannot be divided at more. So I have divided everything and I have names to everything. So this is called the tokens. Right? So each and every smallest individual unit, I can say indivisible unit, indivisible, it cannot be divided more, in a C program are known as C tokens. Okay, so let's see. These are the different differentiation of our C tokens. C tokens are of 6 types: keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, operators, and special symbols. Keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, and an operators. So 6 types of C tokens we have. Using this, we are going to write our C program. So let's see identifier. So what is an identifier? I can be identified with my name. Is it not? Or I can be identified with my employee ID. So an individual will be identified with some name or ID. So that means it is their name or unique identification number. So in C language also, we use it to give names to all the things. For naming, we use an identifier. So it represents the name in the C program. For everything, for whichever you want to name, for everything you can give a name. So the names can be, for example, variables can be named, functions can be named, arrays can be named, structures, unions, labels, etc. Just now we have seen a label. If a equals to 9, I have written go to x. So x is a name, some place where you can go back. Right? For jumping statements, I have given you the example. So a naming can be given by making use of identifier. So an identifier can be composed of letters. So what it can be? An identifier can be composed of letters, all lowercase and uppercase, such as uppercase and lowercase letters, underscores, digits, all the digits from 0 to 9. But the starting letter should be either an alphabet or an underscore. That means it cannot start with any digit. An identifier cannot start with any digit. So we'll just have some rules for writing an identifier. The first character of an identifier should be either an alphabet or underscore. That is what I have told you just now. It cannot start with a digit. It should not begin with any numerical digit. Identifiers are case sensitive. Remember, everything is case sensitive in C language. Everything is case sensitive in C language. Suppose I'll write an example here. Please remember this for further also. Suppose if I write like this, what happened? It's not coming. Yeah. Suppose if I write a student like this. So it is not equal as this, because in previous one, in the first one, I have written capital S, whereas in the second one, I have written lowercase s. As C language is the case sensitive language, that means if you have written it as lowercase, you need to write it as lowercase. The compiler understands only as it is. If you have written it as capital letter, you need to write it as capital letter. That's it. It cannot understand it as both are equal, because it involves an ASCII code. You will be getting to know what are the ASCII codes. As ASCII codes differ from lowercase and uppercase, it cannot understand both are same. Right? We'll move further. Next, keywords cannot be represented as an identifier. Here you cannot understand what is a keyword. Keywords are the predefined words in C language. These are the words already defined in C language. So they cannot be used as names for something else. Right? Next, the length of the identifier should not be more than 31 characters. It allows only 32 characters. So your names, that means your identifiers cannot exceed up to 31 characters. Next. Examples of valid identifiers: total is allowed, sum is allowed, average is allowed, underscore M, underscore, both are allowed, because your identifier can start with an underscore and an alphabet. Right? Underscore M, underscore is allowed. Sum underscore 1 is also allowed, etc. So these are the valid identifiers. I have taken some invalid identifiers also. To sum, it is not it is not valid because we cannot start with digits. And int is a reserved word, which is nothing but the keyword. I have told you. Keywords cannot be used as an identifier. Char is also not allowed. And M plus N is also not allowed, because we are allowed to write only lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and underscore. Digits are allowed, but the special characters cannot be allowed. So M plus N is not allowed to write as an identifier, right? So next, keywords in C language. Just now I have defined the keyword. The meaning of keyword is C library has written already some words with some meanings. That means a C library is feeded with some words indicating these are used for some purpose. Like an example, we have seen include. For the definition section, we have seen define. So hash, after hash, I have used a word called include. Include is a keyword, whereas define is a keyword. So like that, we have some words which are already defined in C language. So those words are called as keywords. In some textbooks, they used to write it as reserved words also. These words are written only in lowercase because C language understands these words are keywords. So it has to be written in lowercase only. Okay, so keywords are predefined words in C compiler. C compiler understands this is used for only this purpose. So it cannot be used as an identifier. Right? Each keyword is meant to perform a specific function in a C program. Each word has its own work. It has to perform the same thing. Right? So since keywords are referred names for compiler, they cannot be used as variable name. Variables are the next thing which we are going to learn. It cannot be named for anything. Keywords cannot be used for any other purpose. The meaning is the keywords are meant for some function, so it has to do the same thing. It cannot be used for any other purpose. Right? Next, we'll move on. So there are 32 keywords available in C language. Auto, break, case, character, continue, default, unsigned, struct, long, signed, for, if, go to, double. These are all the keywords which are already defined in C language. So these are the keywords. Okay, next we'll move on. So strings are the other tokens. Strings are nothing but the set of characters which are enclosed in double quotes. The name can be written in a string. So here we have used a new word called string is a array of characters. Array of characters. Array is nothing but a group of elements. So it is a group of characters ended with a null character. This /0 indicates that it's an end of your string. So this null character indicates that string has ended. Strings are always enclosed with double quotes. So the strings are nothing but anything which is enclosed in double quotes are called strings. Right? Here we have some strings in C language. Character strings. Strings are not directly given as a data type in C language. So they are written as character array. Character array. Array is nothing but group of elements. So it groups all the characters. Characters are nothing but a single element which is enclosed in a single quote. So a group of characters makes a string. Group of characters makes a string. So character string. So string of 20. So this string allows 20 characters into it. So it is an array of characters. So here it can have all the characters into it. It indicates with the null character. It tells it's an end of the string. So this is one way of declaring a string. This is another way. For the same string, I can write demo because double quotes like this, I can indicate the double quotes. String can be allocated to this. And for this string also, I can allocate in this way. So simply at this point of time, you have to learn that string is not a data type in C language. String is a token. String is a token. anything which is enclosed in double quotes. It can be a special symbols, it can be digits, characters, uppercase letters, lowercase letters, anything can be enclosed in a double quotes. And strings are ended up with null character, that is /0. It can be ended up with /0. And strings can be represented in C language using character array. That means group of characters made as an array. Right? Next token is the constant. Constant means it's a value which cannot be changed. So C constants are like normal variables, normal numbers, but only difference is their values cannot be modified by the program once they are defined. Once you have defined, it cannot be modified. This is simple, like I will give you a simple example which you know, pi value. In mathematics, we use pi. Pi is nothing but 22/7 or it is 3.14. So we don't change the value of pi. So here also we used to write the values as constants. Once it is declared, it cannot be changed further. So constants refers to a fixed values. They are also called as literals, constants. The other name of constants are literals. So constants may belong to any of the data types. It can be float data type, it can be character, it can be integer. Constants can be of any data type. So syntax, we can write the constant like this, const. This is the keyword map. So using const, data type is declared and the variable name is declared. Okay, so like this. So this is the data type, this is the variable name, a name which we use. Here I want to tell you the variable is nothing but, in next topics I'll explain what is the variable. Variable is nothing but a thing which we are going to use in our program. As the example, I have declared declarative statement. In the declarative statement, I have told you that integer a comma b comma c. There what I am declaring, I am having three variables a, b, c, which are going to be used in my program. So a, b, c are nothing but the three variables which I am going to use in my program. And what kind of data it can store? It can store only the integer values. Okay, so here it is, a is also an integer, but it is constant. The value at a cannot be changed. So a will hold a fixed value, right? So there are types of constants: integer constant, real or floating point constant, octal and hexadecimal constant, character constant, string constant, backslash character constants. Okay, so these are the examples. Integer constants, integers, like this we can write all the integers. Unsigned integers, you'll get to know what are the unsigned. Unsigned are nothing but without telling whether it is a positive number or negative number. Signed integer tells whether it is a positive number or negative number. Okay, so it is indicating, it is u indicates it is unsigned integer, capital U or small u. And long integer, long integer. Integers can be shown as short int, long int, long int. According to its range, it can be written in any of the way. Okay, by learning the data types, we can learn. So these are the examples: long int, long int, and so on. So these are the integer constants. And real and floating point constants, we can have decimal part. So dot, after that we have different digits, and after that we have double. This is double actually, double, double, where you can write the highest precision. It also shows the floating point number, but with highest precision. So floating point numbers can be shown here. Octal constants, the number system can be shown as decimal system or octal system or hexadecimal or binary system. So decimal system allows the numbers from 0 to 9, whereas octal allows the numbers from 0 to 7 because only 8 digits. Base system, base number, base 10 is the decimal, base 8 is the octal, base 16 is a hexadecimal, whereas binary is only zeros and ones, base 2. Okay, so octal numbers are shown with 0. it starts with 0, and hexadecimal, it allows the numbers from 0 to 9. Actually, we have the digits from 0 to 9. After that, we use, for 10, we use A, B, C, D, E, like that we use. So hexadecimal constants are shown as 0x. It can be small x or it can be capital X. So hexadecimal constants can be shown like this. And character constants, I have told you already, a single quote. Any digit or any special symbol or any letter which is enclosed in a single quote is called a character constant. Character actually, but the character constant also can be shown as anything which is enclosed in a single quote. It can be a character, it can be digit, or it can be a number. So next is a string constant, double quotes. See, it does not have any meaning, ABCD, but also as it is enclosed in double quote, it is called a string. Okay. So next, how to use constants in your program. So there are two ways to use constants in your program. One is the way which I have explained right now, using the const keyword, CONST, declaration. At the part of declaration itself, you declare the variable as const with the data type with the variable name. There you can declare like this. By const keyword, you can declare like this: const float, it's a data type, it's a variable name, and it is initialized as 3.14. So this pi is a constant of type float, data type is float, and it is constant type. So to indicate this variable as a constant, we write the data type as float, and we have given the keyword CONST. The other way is hash defined preprocessor directive. This is the definition section which we write in the basic C programming. So in definition section also we can define the constants. So here I can write hash define, then I can write the constant value. So like this, two ways we can write the constants into our C program. Next are the special symbols. Special symbols, we use many symbols. Simple example, semicolon. We use semicolon at the end of every C statement. At the end of every C statement. That means you can end your C statement with semicolon. That is mandatory. It is a syntax. So in the same way, we have very many special symbols available in our program. So the following special symbols are used in C having some special meaning and that cannot be used for some other purpose. They are meant for something. So they have to be used for that reason. Comma is used to separate the variables. Semicolon is used to terminate your statement. Whereas curly braces are used to enclose your set of instructions. Whereas star is used for the multiplication as well as it is also used for the pointer. Hash or the pound symbol. Pound symbol is used for preprocessor directive to include your header files. Equal to is an assignment operator. Right? That means these are the continuation. So these are called square braces. They are used for arrays. Parentheses are used for function call. These are called parentheses. Don't get confused. These are the square braces. Square brackets are also these are also called square brackets. Parentheses. So for separation of expression also we use the parentheses. For the calls, function calls also we use the parentheses. We use curly braces. Open curly brace, closed curly brace. For writing the function definition. Comma for separation. Semicolon for termination. Colon for structures. And this is for pointers and so on, equal to and so on. So braces, these opening and ending curly braces marks the start and end of block of code containing more than one executable statement. That means for any function call, function definition, we write this curly braces. We call it as braces, curly braces. Next, parentheses. So parentheses are the special symbols used to indicate function calls and function parameters for calling the function or for writing the function parameters. And brackets square brackets. Opening and closing brackets are used as array element reference. These indicate single and multi-dimensional subscripts. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, like that. You can write the subscripts also using this square brackets. And the last token is operators. We know the operators already. Operators are nothing but to perform something. So C operators are symbols that triggers an action when applied to C variables. And other objects, the data items on which operators act upon, are called operands. So take the example, this this simple example. So these are C and D are nothing but the operands, whereas plus is an operator. So which performs some action. So we have 8 types of operators available in C language. In next video lesson, we learn about the operators. So before that, we see there are 3 types of operators available in C language: unary, binary, and ternary. As the name indicates, unary means it's a single, only one, unary operator. So what is one? Not operator. Operand is only one. It works only with one operand. Whereas binary operator, it works with 2 operands. 2 operands. Whereas ternary operator, it indicates 3. Ternary means 3. So we work on with 3 operands. Operands are nothing but the data items on which operators act upon. On which the data items act upon are called operands. The data items which triggers an action are called operators. So this is an example for unary operator. This is called an increment operator. This means +1. So instead of +1, we write A++. Next, we write A and B. It is logical and. We have logical operators also. So we write a logical operation. So we write the logical operation using this, and this is an addition operator. Like this, we have many operators available. Next is a ternary operator. This is also called as conditional operator. Here we write question mark colon. The meaning is if A is greater than B, actually this is actually the expression. Here we need to write the expression. If this expression is true, it executes this first statement. Otherwise, it goes with the second statement. So like this, we have different operators in C language. So it's an another concept where we learn the programming also. So it's a basic idea of your tokens. So along with this, we learn the next topic called variables. So in these variables are nothing but the set of values which holds the value, and it allows some set of operations. So a variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area where you can store a value that our programs can manipulate. Simply, I can say an example like here. Suppose if I write integer A. So this indicates it holds a value A. The memory allocates a value A where I can write it is A. So here I can store only my integer values. It cannot store any other kind of values. So each variable in C determines the size and layout of variable's memory. So it determines how much data it can store and variable's memory, how much memory it can allocate, and the size, how much size it requires. Okay. So next we'll see rules to name a variable. It is similar like our identifier. So variable name must not start with a digit. Similar like, because it is also naming. So it cannot stand with a digit. Variable name can consist of alphabets, digits, and special symbols like underscore. Not all other special symbols. It can contain an underscore. Blank spaces, blank spaces are not allowed in variable name, because student space name, if you write student space name, the computer understands student is separate, name is separate. So you cannot allow any space in between two variables. Okay, the variable name should be continuous. If you want to have any break, please write some underscore or write continuously. So keywords are not allowed as variable name, as we have discussed already. Keywords are used for some particular purpose, so we cannot use them for any other purpose. C is a case sensitive, so it is suggested to keep the variable names in lowercase. Try to write all the variables in lowercase. If you write it as lowercase, allow it as lowercase. But the variables cannot be understandable if it is in lowercase and uppercase. So that's all for this video lesson. Hope you have learned good knowledge regarding the different statements available in C language and the tokens available in C language. Thank you for watching.